are close to 80,000 people living in Montgomery County who don't know where their next meal is coming from. We're here at the Manna Food Center, one of the biggest nonprofits in the county working to end hunger. The county has developed a plan to address food security, and it is one of the first of its kind in the country. More than 300 residents from across the county participated in an effort to improve the county's food system. It addresses who is at risk,
hunger doesn't know any demographics,
where they are,
going through lower income neighborhoods, asking, do you know of anyone in need of food?
And what their barriers are to food security.
The barrier for a senior is very different than a barrier for a child.
Dan Hoffman was the chief architect of the proposal.
Well, in the first year, we're really just setting the table. The data and the metrics that we currently use to help understand how we're doing in this area, they're not great. There's not a lot of data out there. It's very inconsistent data. So we felt like in the first year and really 2 years, we needed to kind of get the table set, address some immediate needs, especially around seniors and youth, but then really start to try to move the needle in later in year 2, year 3. We wanted to manage really everyone's expectations because it's a complex issue.
The goal of the county plan is to reduce the number of food insecure residents by 22% by year 3 of the plan. Montgomery County has a network of more than 160 food assistant providers, but the population of the county is becoming more diverse and the needs of their clients are changing. The plan identifies 5 general population categories and their barriers to accessing food. Residents below the self-sufficiency standard, people with disabilities, foreign-born residents, seniors, and children. Right now, Montgomery County has more children going hungry than any other county in the state.
It's not okay. We have specific programs that we need to build upon to make sure that we are reaching our children. We have seniors who are isolated, who don't have transportation. We need to build on those programs.
But probably the biggest surprise in developing this plan was learning how many eligible residents were not receiving benefits.
We wanted to really understand how under-enrolled are we, what can we do to really boost participation in these programs that we already get reimbursed.
More than half of individuals who are eligible for SNAP benefits, which used to be called food stamps, are not getting access to them. That's something we've really got to work on. There are strong programs in place. Summer meals are available through the school system. There are weekend backpack programs available for students in the school system, but we need to expand those. We need to let people know that they're available.
The food security plan was put together over a 4-month period.
Just the beginning of all the work that we have to do.
During that time, stakeholders, food security professionals, and residents met to gather information and listen to various perspectives in order to craft a plan that would bring food security to all.
Only way that we're going to eradicate hunger is that everyone get involved.
At the official kickoff of the plan, County Executive Ike Leggett called on the community to make it work.
This should be the last meeting of this sort where we are gathered saying we are going to solve this problem. We should put ourselves out of business. And if this plan does not do that in this county, then we have failed.
There were hundreds of participants who contributed to the food security plan, including Heather Bruskin of the Montgomery County Food Council.
And we're very lucky here in Montgomery County, both with having political support and the resources to really address this strategy. We've got our urban, suburban, down county and our 93,000 acre ag reserve, but we also have our challenges with over 70,000 food insecure residents, people who aren't sure where their next meal is coming from. And rather than providing programs and services ourselves, what we do is try to provide forums for identifying what resources are needed to elevate and connect and make more efficient these resources that are existing in our communities.
Oh, thank you. And connecting those resources is key to getting a handle on hunger in Montgomery County. Manna Food has been working to feed the hungry here since 1983. Today, the nonprofit serves about 50% of the food insecure residents in the county.
They have a snack table, they have
Jackie DiCarlo is MANA's CEO.
Hunger, like poverty, has multiple causes and interrelated. So we're really encouraged that the county is taking a look at the importance of workforce development and economic revitalization for all of our citizens and residents. Food security and workforce development go hand in hand. You know, workers need to be well fed, and they're much more productive and better able to do their jobs well. So what we see is those kinds of collective actions where we're addressing some of the same populations, but in different ways.
And the statistics are forcing nonprofits like MANA to take a second look at their sites and methods of distribution.
Thank you.
The report found that the majority of food insecure residents live in the east part of the county. In response to those numbers, MANA opened Choice Pantry in the basement of Colesville Presbyterian Church.
Amen.
Amen.
Number 22.
Clients are given money to spend.
Okay, you're at your limit of money, so if you want any of these, you have to put something back.
Based on the size of their family.
Okay.
And they can buy whatever they need, like a regular grocery store. Nancy Kinno shops at the Choice Pantry. She needed assistance following the loss of her job of 40 years at the Gazette.
Apples, oranges, grapes, strawberries. Since I'm on a fixed income, this helps me with my groceries, because I'm limited as to what I can spend at the grocery store, and I get food stamps, but $16 doesn't go very far. But I like it here. It's more like a grocery store. You come in, you go pick out get a number, you go pick out your produce, and then you walk over and get your bread and pastries if they have any, and you have a seat, and then they take you back when your number shows up, and you go shopping. Like somebody will go with you with a shopping cart, and you have a dollar amount as to what you can spend, and they just walk you through.
She's pleased to have this opportunity to get extra food. It's a big help for her family with a low income.
Part of our goal is to build community so that we know our customers and they know us, and we check in with people, and so it means a lot to the church to do this.
It's a great model that a lot of other smaller groups have done, and then we've also, through our partnership with these faith communities, added an element of hospitality. So it's kind of community building. People come to shop, but they also hang out with their neighbors, they get to know each other, and so that's one of the things we're really excited about here at MANA.
It costs just over $91,000 per year for a 4-person family to afford the basic necessities in Montgomery County. The federal poverty level is $24,300. The unemployment rate in 2016 was just 3.2%, while the state of Maryland was 4.2%. Despite those statistics, more than 7% of county residents live below the federal poverty level.
We can't go into this effort without creating some degree of shared vision.
Dan Hoffman says the goal of the food security plan is identifying not only the specific locations where hunger is an issue, but also what the barrier is to access.
So what is their specific barrier to access? The barrier for a senior is very different than a barrier for someone who's foreign-born, different than a barrier for a child. So if we felt like we could get down to that level of granularity, it would help our nonprofit community really target some of their interventions and not duplicate efforts.
Another piece in the puzzle to solve hunger is Shepherd's Table in Silver Spring, where the mission is to provide basic services to people who are homeless or in need. This nonprofit serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner during the week.
Here we have egg noodles,
as well as brunch and dinner on the weekends.
I appreciate the work you're doing here, Flo and myself. Thank you.
You are so sweet.
Yeah, it takes a lot of good heart to care. Sometimes people have to reach rock bottom to understand there's only one way up. And that's inspiration and love and caring us from people like you. Thank you very much.
Folks can also get toiletries, use the telephone, and get prescription assistance.
What are we doing, Mario? Good today?
Director Jackie Coyle says it's the desire of Shepherd's Table to serve anyone who's hungry.
Well, we want everyone to be food secure in Montgomery County.
And I remember when this was first talked about, it was like, wow, could we go for 100% food security? Well, we're taking it by a percentage. So you shoot for a goal, well, let's make it less people food insecure every year. So I think the plan is very good. You have to identify who the folks are, where are the communities most in need, how do you make food accessible to those communities, how do you work with the farmers, how do you work with the business folks. So I think in Montgomery County there's a real effort to strengthen the partnerships.
This is bagels.
Keith White is one of the hundreds of volunteers at Shepherd's Table. He serves with an enormous amount of gratitude.
It's a very humbling experience. You know, you come in and you thank God for, what you have, and, just give all thanks to God. That could easily be me and my family.
Agencies like Manna and Shepherd's Table are just two of the dozens of nonprofits working to end hunger in the county. But there are also holistic approaches to the issue where food that would otherwise go to waste is being repurposed.
Got some steak.
Brett Myers founded Nourish Now in 2011 after witnessing enormous food waste while working in the food industry.
Well, first long-term goal is to help have a plan in place to bring food security to Montgomery County. We feel like that's possible. There's a lot of great organizations. We feel like we're doing a really good job with the prepared food, produce, things of that nature.
We've got some skirt steak that we marinated, pretty simple. We did a miso marinade on it, and then some creamy polenta.
The good stuff. Very exciting. Thank you very much, everyone.
Nourish Now collects food surplus from caterers, restaurants, and grocery stores.
Have a good day.
All right, you too.
Today, the nonprofit serves more than 600 families and 70 nonprofits. Clients who come to Nourish Now receive 5 days of food per month, which consists of dry and canned goods, produce, and prepared meals. Myers was one of the many stakeholders at the table when the food security plan was being developed.
We attended all the meetings, and we feel like, with bringing in 40,000 pounds of food and being able to donate it to as many people as we are, and we continue to grow, that we continue to expand what's going on in Montgomery County. We hope to, just continue to working more with organizations. Like I mentioned before, we donate to over 70 county organizations to help support their food budgets so they can free up funding to provide to more people. So we feel, there's always more work to be done, but, we feel like we're taking steps in the county, and hopefully, with the plan and everybody together, we can move forward.
On our visit to Nourish Now, we met client Brian Melrose. He says this organization has made a big difference in his daily life.
I don't need to worry about $60 to $80, for 2 weeks for groceries, because I really get it here.
So while our county has an array of nonprofit and government programs to address food security, the key over the next 5 years will be building upon the data collection and analysis that was gathered in the plan. Officials say the plan is more descriptive than prescriptive, and that it's not something that will eliminate food insecurity here altogether. But it is a goal worth shooting for.
And I'm really quite proud of our affluent and generous and well-resourced county and the sophisticated efforts we're making to meet the needs of those who are left behind. We've got to work with the philanthropic sector. We need those county residents who are fortunate and well-resourced to remember that in this community there is a lot of need, and we need people to support service providers that do such excellent work.
In order to really achieve this goal, we need to have everybody working together. And so that's where the Food Council really comes in, as providing that forum in our working groups and in community engagement exercises through town hall meetings and public meetings, key stakeholder interviews and roundtable discussions to find out if you own a business, not a food business, but just an everyday business, what are things that you can do to address this problem as well, because we need to bring everybody together.
It is all of us coming together and saying, it is not okay for our brothers and sisters to be hungry in Montgomery County. It is a moral imperative that we address it, and this plan puts us on the path for doing just that.
I was astounded to find out people were actually hungry. How are you going to be hungry in a land of plenty?
You can view all of the details of the food security plan by visiting the county's website and searching food security.